Hi, today I'll be going over the backhand open face dink. So a backhand open face dink is distinguished by, in your swing path, the paddle face being open and you're hitting upwards on the ball. So this is really one of the most basic dinks you want to basically master, and you're going to go to this in a lot of different situations. So what we're looking for is a down to up swing with an open paddle face, ideally from the shoulder. We're not adding elbow and we're not adding a lot of wrist movement, and the paddle face is going to be guided by the wrist just being open, so that the paddle face is opening, looking like this. So this basic dink is super useful in tons of situations. Really what we're looking for is to get this ball to bounce in front of our opponents. Based on the height that we hit the ball at, our contact point, we might be able to push the ball a little further on a lower trajectory, or we might be needing to lift it more if we're hitting from a low contact point. But it's a very versatile shot that is going to be used in any number of these different dinking situations. Footwork wise, we want to have a semi-closed stance towards where we're hitting the ball. So I don't want to see a full crossover like so. And I don't want to see an open stance towards where I'm hitting. I want something just perfectly in between where my feet are oriented at the kitchen line, such that if I'm hitting cross court, the paddle is coming across my body, so the swing path is from a semi-closed stance. So as far as contact point goes, a lot of players may let the ball drift too far to the side over here, or they may make contact out in front of their body too much. Both of these are going to vary where the ball goes in terms of left and right. So we want to have a good central contact point, ideally in front of our body. So when our swing path is going this direction, our ideal contact point is generally between our stance here, so right around this area, between the 2 feet. That contact point is going to guide the ball generally cross court where we're trying to hit this at the moment. Some things that people may do wrong with the open face backhand dink. A lot of them think it's a lot about spin, and most of the backspin that we're getting here is incidental based on the open paddle face and the swing path. We're not trying to get a lot of spin, and with that, something that people might do when they're thinking about getting a lot of spin is they carve underneath the ball, like so. The problem with this is that you're actually giving yourself less paddle area to hit on, which can cause mishits, and it's also going to cause the ball to go further up. Neither of these things is what we want for the purpose of this shot. We want to try to make the paddle face constant throughout the swing. The loft shouldn't change. It should not be doing this as we're hitting. We want to keep it at whatever loft we start it with. Okay, so as we're hitting this shot, we also want to be thinking, how high over the net do we need the clearance to be? And the answer to this is mostly related to, are you contacting the ball when it's at the peak of its bounce or afterwards? So if the ball is high when you're making contact, meaning you contacted at peak, you can hit the ball a little bit lower to the net and you're going to normally make that shot. Whereas if you're contacting the ball lower, we're going to need to open the paddle face more and swing upward more, get more loft, more height over the net in order to hit a more defensive shot. So essentially you want to be varying how much this is open based on, was my contact point higher or was it lower to the ground when I hit it? Another thing people often do wrong in this is they take an overcomplicated swing, and by that I mean a large backswing. What happens with a large backswing is, if you're trying to hit the ball pretty short in the kitchen, this is only 8 or 9 feet that we're hitting it. If you take a large backswing, you're going to need to decelerate the paddle as you're hitting, which is difficult for control. Or if you don't decelerate, the ball is definitely going to go too far. So you want to think of having actually a small backswing and accelerating from there. We don't want deceleration in the swing. And as we're hitting this, we want to make sure that our feet are transferring our weight back to our front foot as we hit. We don't want to be leaning back or on our back foot like so. Ideally, we want to be transferring both for consistency of the shot and for positioning after we hit the shot. So once again, this backhand open face dink, very versatile, useful in a lot of situations. It's a basic, and if you are playing on the left side, you should definitely be hitting this shot very frequently, or really in a lot of different parts in the court. So make sure you have this basic mastered, and you'll be good to go. And there you have the backhand open face dink.